Parenting is not rocket science. It's harder. I wish that I could give you one simple strategy that would solve the problem, or even 5 steps to perfect children. There is no such thing. Let me share with you a little story that tells you a bit about my daughter and my relationship with her. Isa came to me at 10 months old. She had already been through much neglect and much abuse. She came in this cute little pink bonnet and was just a delight. So excited to have her in my world. Fast forward many years later, and at 10 years old, she got a bread knife out of the drawer, waved it at me in a fit of rage, and ran outside. Fortunately, we have friends down the street who are police officers, and I called them and they came running. Stood in the driveway and watched as they frisked my daughter and looked for the knife. Once they found the knife and everyone was safe, we sat down and talked for a while. It was such a painful moment. I wept for my daughter. I wept for our family. I wept for the dreams that didn't seem possible in that moment. I even considered finding another job. If I can't help my daughter, how can I help other parents and their children? I knew what I needed to do, and it was going to be the hardest thing ever. I had to connect with this little girl who did not want to connect with me and who was fighting in every way possible. So I started packing things up. I packed up the kitchen and of course all of the knives and any sharp thing that she could hurt herself or anyone else with. I packed up pictures and picture frames because there was glass and she could hurt herself or hurt someone else. We also packed up anything that she could use to refuse to connect with us, to refuse to engage. So we packed up videos and the TVs. We even packed up books because I did not want her hiding behind a book. We had some games. We had our furniture. We had beds. That was about it. The next few months were very painful, but I had to communicate to her that nothing else in my life was more important to me than connecting with her and helping her grow. So we battled it out. And I had to fight with myself to use soft eyes and to use a soft voice. And I would ask for redos and she would refuse. And I would push and observe. And I would talk to her. And sometimes I would just be quiet. Fast forward a couple of years later, and we went out for dinner the other night. Went to a meeting that I needed to go to, and then we went out for dinner and we talked and laughed, and we even remembered this very hard moment. We came home that evening and continued to have a nice time together. It was a painful process. Fortunately now, I have my kitchen supplies back in the kitchen and we don't have to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with a plastic knife. We have our books out and we have our videos out. And there are times where we say, no, we're going to spend time connecting rather than watching a video or even reading a book. But the job I had in that moment was to communicate to my daughter that nothing in my life was more important than connecting with her. It is a hard thing. We must put away reward and punishment. Those are the strategies we're most comfortable with. That's what we grew up with, and that's what we expect to work. And yet, with children from hard places, they don't. Instead, we have to connect while we correct. If we can make that connection the most important thing, then we can find ways to correct that behavior. And we can move our scared children out of their fear-based behaviors and help them begin to feel safe and to trust.